Hi, good morning. Dr. Bob Rosenberg here. And we're going to talk today. Our topic is laptop stands. And I found one that works great with my Surface Pro. So, if you look at the blog, it talks about the product itself, which has the ability for me to plug the Surface Pro into my monitor, maintain the Surface Pro at the right height for me. It also has little clips on the side that's supposed to hold the laptop. That actually works very well with supporting the Surface Pro itself. And I'm able to use a plug-in, which allows me to put in devices like a wireless keyboard and a wireless mouse. So now I have all the things that I need in order to use my Surface Pro as a laptop as well. This particular device was on Amazon. It's called the Power Plus. It has also a fan on it. I don't know if you can see the fan. But there's a fan here which will help cool down your laptop. It plugs into a USB port, which works out great with my Surface Pro because there's a USB port in the charger for the fan. And so it also works as air conditioning. I'm sure it gets the air conditioning too high back there, then I can turn this on like that. Extra cooling. During this live topics, what we want to do is discuss or answer, gives me an opportunity to answer some questions from you. So many of my patients ask questions about specific things, and sometimes during our course of treatment we may not have the opportunity to ask that question. And I know what happens with me. I get to the doctor's office, go through all the process, and then as soon as I walk out, darn, I wish I would have asked the doctor this question. So Tuesday's Lives are that opportunity for you to call or text me or get onto the website and comment or give me feedback, and it'll be an opportunity to either answer that directly to you if you want me to do that one-on-one. Be glad to do that. Or we can do this in this kind of format where you can share that information with other patients who may have that same question. So Bree had asked about crossing your legs when you're sitting at the desk, and the answer to that is if you cross at the ankles, that's not a bad thing. You can sit all day long with your legs crossed at your ankles. If you cross at the knees, you have several problems. One, you're going to throw the pelvis off and create a shift. Two is you're going to change the actual, not only position of the pelvis, but you're going to restrict blood flow to your legs. So over a long period of time, it can actually lead to varicose veins. So the last thing you really want to do is cross at your knees. So cross at your ankles, that's fine. If every once in a while you want to sit with your legs crossed as you're sitting back, that's not a bad thing to do that for a very short period of time, but don't make a habit out of it. That can create problems. Let's see. Another question was asked, why a laptop stand? I use my laptop at the office all the time. I have a lot of friends who actually have laptops that are using that, and I've explained to them two things. One, every time I see them on Facebook or I see a picture of them, I'm always getting a great visual up their nose. So that's an issue. But the reality is that the monitor and the keyboard should be in specific positions. So if I want the monitor to be at the right height, if I just let my hands dangle to my side and flip my hands up, then the keyboard should be at that level. Now in this case, the keyboard would probably be better sitting about 1.5 inches lower, but this is certainly better than higher. If this position is unattainable, I can actually move the chair up a little bit higher and get a little bit better height of my body to maintain that, because if my keyboard is not exactly at this position where I'm in this kind of relaxed position, my hands are comfortable, then what's going to happen is I'm going to shift my shoulders up. I'm going to exaggerate this a little bit so you can see it, but even that little bit of motion during the day is going to cause neck pain. It's going to change the way the position of your head is. The monitor nearly needs to be at about 18 to 22 inches from your face, and it really needs to be in a position where you're looking at the monitor and glancing down by about 5 degrees. So if I'm working on my laptop and I'm just going to flip the keyboard up like that, then literally if I did the keyboard in the Surface Pro, I'd have to be in this position to make it work. And it certainly doesn't work well. This is a much better position. This stand, by the way, has the ability, there are little latches here that allow it to go almost 180 to almost 300 degrees around this axis, and I can actually flatten this out and it would fit the keyboard. Or a laptop would actually fit on that. It would also, even though it would work good for a laptop in that position, you could also just get a separate wireless keyboard, because that's going to help you in a wireless mouse. That'll allow you to shift the position of that monitor more evenly and be able to separate them. So it's important to separate that. A laptop is not a desktop. It was originally designed not ergonomically, but to be able to transport. So if you're going to use it as a stationary device, you need to modify it. Okay, how high should it be, and where should the height of the keyboard be? I guess that's a combined question. I just answered that one. The last question I have, I guess the last question we have time for right now, has to deal with trifocal versus bifocal and your glasses. If you spend a lot of time in front of the computer, talk to your optician or your optometrist or ophthalmologist about getting a pair of computer glasses. Because if you're going to be looking at that, in my case I wear trifocals. So if I need something close, about that distance from my face, I'm going to be using the bifocal, which is at the bottom part. If I'm using the mid-range, it's going to be the trifocal, and if I'm looking at a distance, I'm looking through the rest of the lens. For me, it can be an issue if that degree is very modified, especially if you have progressive lenses, then it may be difficult to distinguish between that trifocal and the bifocal, and that can create some problems for you, because then your head position is going to change. If this keyboard, the monitor isn't at the right position, and I'm looking through my bifocal, I'm going to be doing this, and in that case, I'm going to end up with pain in the back of my neck. So that is very important to be able to do that, especially if you're spending 6 to 8 hours a day in front of a computer monitor. Monitors, I know there are a lot of people who have multiple monitors. You need to take that in consideration. Some have different types of monitors. The heights are going to be different. You need to get them all to be in relatively same height so that you're not looking all around and changing your head position radically as you're looking at your monitor. Okay. Well, that should do it for today, answering your questions. This is a great opportunity for me to ask questions, or for you to ask me questions, or for me to answer those questions. Over the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about ergonomic chairs and what is appropriate for chair height and chair position. We're going to talk about sleeping postures and how you should be sleeping and what are the important things with everything from a mattress to your pillow and etc. And then posture and breathing. Since May happens to be Posture Month, so we're going to focus on posture and how you can have healthy posture. Remember, it begins with making sure your spine is in alignment, taking all the pressure off the nerves, strengthening the muscles, and that's what we do and that's what we teach you about. So if you'd like to know more information, please go to the website, which is www.drbobrosenberg.com, and we're glad to hear more from you in the future. Thank you.